Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we are looking at our Kuwait Transfer V2 2-bike rack here on our 2018 Ford Fiesta. Now the Kuwait Transfer is awesome because of how it's designed with its unique goalpost or U-shaped frame design, which allows you to step into it, making it easier to mount and dismount your bikes. Also, it creates a bit more open space behind your vehicle. So let's talk about one of its features, which is that it can tilt away. And to do so, you just step into your bike rack, hold onto your bike, step on that lever, and just tilt it down just like that. And you'll want to do it, or you'll want to tilt it away if you want to access your hatch. So as you can see here on our Fiesta, there's plenty of room between our door and our handles, allowing us to get into our trunk, maybe grab our bikes, our bags, our waters, our helmets without having to take our bike off. It's nice, it's convenient, and it gets you back on the road faster. To bring it back into position, you just lift up on that bike rack and that lever snaps it back into place. Now let's talk about the way our bike is mounted to this rack. So this is the 1.25 inch version, which means it has a 40-pound weight capacity per bike. If you have the 2-inch shank version, so you'll still get 2 bike rack cradles, but you will have a weight capacity of 60 pounds per bike. But again, it won't fit into an 1.25 inch shank. So here we have it where it's holding onto your bike. We have a wheel mount here in the front and a wheel strap here in the back. I really like that wheel mount design because, as you can see, I have a carbon frame bike here. So if I use the traditional bike rack that has a hook that comes down to that frame, I would risk warping or cracking that frame. But with this wheel mount, I don't have to worry about that. Also, if I have alternate frame bikes like women's bikes or children's bikes or step-through bikes, with that frame that goes down like this, I don't need to get a frame adapter bar since it holds it by the wheel. So when I want to take the bike off, I start at the wheel strap, I press this lever, and then I pull up on that strap, and I leave it to the side so it's not tangled up in our spokes. Then I come over here to the front. Hold on to your bike as you do so, because the instant you release it, it may tilt back towards your car. So hold on to your bike, press this button, depending on how tight you have it on your vehicle, on your bike, you may need to press hard. Then you pull up on that hook, push that out, and from here, it's just a slight lift, and you're ready to go on a bike ride. And with that bike out of the way, let's take a closer look here at our cradles. So here in the back, we have this rear wheel cradle. So this has grooves to accommodate different tire widths. So either your really small road bike tires to your fat tires. Now, speaking of fat tires, the strap this bike rack comes with only fits 3-inch tires. But if you do have fat tires, you can purchase a separate strap adapter, and that can fit tires of up to 5 inches. So this comes around and it ratchets down on each side to secure your wheel. Then you come over here to the front. You have an extra large wheel cradle. So this can also tilt just like the rear wheel cradle back and forth to accommodate different wheel bases. You just need to adjust it here at the end. And then you have that front wheel mount that we talked about earlier. This has a slight padding here on our wheel mount that's going to help grip onto your wheel as it ratchets down to secure it. Okay, so then we're going to move these to the side. You have different options for how you want to put this away. Some people like to put this on the inside. I like to put it on the outside. That way we have a little bit extra room or extra space on the inside of our bike rack, making full use of that U-shaped frame design. So when you have a bike rack on your vehicle, there's going to be some extra length added to it. Here on our Ford Fiesta, we're going to take some measurements. So I'm going to measure from the rear bumper to the end of the bike rack, right where that lock for your cable lock is going to be. And it's going to sit at 34.25 inches. So that's actually kind of long for a 2-bike bike rack, but you do get that U-shaped frame design because of it, as well as a little extra distance between your bikes. Now for ground clearance, we're going to have it at 12.5 inches underneath our tray. Now here underneath our shank, it's going to sit at 7 inches. So that's really low when it comes to ground clearance. That's because our Fiesta sits a bit closer to the ground compared to your taller SUVs or trucks. So you're really going to appreciate that shank rise, especially as you go up steep inclines like driveways or hills, because as your front comes up, your back goes down. So you're going to have to be mindful of that ground clearance that you're going to have to work with. Okay, let's take a look at another of its features, which is that it folds up to a portable position. So you press that lever and you fold this up against your vehicle. We'll take some more measurements. Measuring from our bumper right there to the end of the goal post, you have it at 10 inches. It sticks out a little bit further here at that lever, and that's going to be at about 12.5 inches. Closest point is going to be from our bumper to that front wheel cradle, and you're going to have a clearance of 4 inches between the two, meaning there's no chances of contact between your bike rack and your vehicle when you're driving. Another thing to note is with it folded up like this, see how accessible that lever is? That means you can hold your bike with one hand, step on the lever with your foot, and bring this down with your other hand. Just a nice extra feature Kuwait likes to add to their bike racks. With it folded up, notice how our front or our rear window is completely clear. Our taillights are visible as well, and see where our license plate and our backup camera is. This is where that goalpost really shines. So you can see how this allows it to be visible or keeps your backup camera visible even with your bike rack folded up. Your license plate is also visible, keeping you both safe and legal on the road as you drive along. All right, let's talk about how this fits into our hitch. So this has an 1.25 inch shank with a 2-inch hitch adapter. There's another version of this that has a 2-inch solid shank, but since we have an 1.25 inch hitch on our vehicle right now, that's what we're using. It has a hitch pin and a clip, so this is not lockable, but you can also pick up a hitch pin and lock here at etrailer.com if you want to add that feature. It does not have a lock since it uses a security wrench to tighten it down and engage that anti-rattle ball cam. That's maybe the one downside to this bike rack. I personally really don't like that wrench. I prefer the knob you can find on the Sherpa or the Kuwait NV, but it works to both secure your bike rack and create that anti-rattle effect. Because as you can see, as I shake our bike rack right here by the shank, I'm moving the vehicle, showing how there is a secure fit between our hitch receiver and our shank, especially with that ball cam, creating that anti-rattle effect, meaning you're going to have a smoother ride for your bikes overall when you're on the road. Any rattle or sway you experience will come from the road and not from an improper connection between the two. So my final thoughts about the Kuwait Transfer, I really like that goalpost design. I think it's unique. I really like the ability to step into my bike rack in order to mount and dismount my bikes. Also, being able to access my hatch even with my bikes on is a great feature. Now, the ground clearance is a little low, so that's just something you're going to have to think about. You already have a vehicle that's low to the ground, so you're just going to have to be extra cautious when it comes to those speed bumps or those great inclines. But all in all, it's a great bike rack with really good weight capacity. So that was a look at the Kuwait Transfer V2 bike rack here on our 2018 Ford Fiesta.